All right. Hey, everyone. I'm Braden. I run the C++ meetup in Winnipeg, and also I am the volunteer coordinator for this conference. Okay, so people may be thinking or wondering, Braden, what have you been up to in 2025? And the answer is, hey, reviving PartStacker in C++, so thank you so much. Sorry, I stole this joke from Tony Vanier. Oh, no. Okay, so I have iframes in this website, and the iframes are not showing up. So here is a link to what should be showing on the screen. There's a tool called PartStacker that was written by a person named Tom van der Zanden, who is, as far as I know, a PhD in mathematics, maybe a professor in the Netherlands. And he is very good at stacking algorithms or bin packing algorithms in 3D, and he did that specifically for... Oh, wait. Wrong ones? Oh, no.
It's your website. I tried it, and that's what it gave me.
Is that all I have? Oh, I don't know the buttons. Sorry. Not my clicker. Okay, here's an iframe that does work. The reason why this was made was for selective laser sintering 3D printing. I'm part of this niche online community that uses 3D printing for a specific reason. I'll get into it in a second. If anyone doesn't know about this kind of 3D printing, you're going to learn right now. Basically, the machine, they're very, very expensive and harmful to your health, actually. You lay down a layer of powder, and then a laser comes by and fuses it together, and then another layer of powder goes down and that kind of stuff. I use it specifically for puzzles. So I like 3D printed puzzles. I make these. These are all my designs. They're not renders, they're photos. Yeah, that's where my logo comes from at the bottom right. So I like this kind of stuff. They're kind of like Rubik's Cubes, but there's a whole community of us that make this kind of stuff. And 3D printing in SLS is very expensive, but it is very precise, and we want to use it, and we want to get down our costs for 3D printing. That is all to say there's a lot of backstory to this. This is all backstory. There's no C++ in this talk. Here's the current version of PartStacker as it is today. There should have been a screenshot in the iframe that was supposed to be there. This is what it looks like today. So I packed 10 tetrahedra, 12 maybe, into a bounding box, and there's a mesh around it. It's not as tight as it could be because the stack settings needed to be changed, but whatever. This was my demonstration here. This is PartStacker Community Edition version 0.3. Let me tell you how I got to Community Edition version 0.3. Basically, okay, so this talk is, I'm just going to talk about how I compiled old XNA code, recovering lost features, rewriting it in C++, and the current work that I'm doing. It'll all be pretty quick. A little bit of backstory that I did miss. This is what I've been doing for the past 6 months. I emailed Tom van der Zanden, or I had a friend of mine who knows Tom van der Zanden send him an email saying, hey, can I use the code, or can Braden use the code, upload it to a GitHub repo, and revive this project? It was written in 2011 through 2013 in XNA. Does anyone not know what XNA is? Wow. Okay, cool. Okay, so it's a .NET video game development made, it was discontinued actually, sorry, I'll get to there in a sec, like graphics libraries, matrix transformations, discontinued before I was born in January 2013, so it's quite a while ago. Now the issue is that, that I tried to compile this old code. I took this old C# code, how am I going to compile it? There are some community implementations of XNA, monogame, FNA, neither of them worked until they both did. I didn't get it right the first time. But the problem is there's some deprecated APIs. So C#'s binary formatter serialization functions just are entirely deprecated now. But I'm looking at 12-year-old C# code, so I just commented that stuff out. I recovered some old lost features though, because the thing is, there's a screenshot that you should have seen at the beginning that showed there's no mesh box around these packed meshes. I'm using mesh in two senses in the same sentence. Sorry, there's a gridded box. That was not there in the version that you can download from his website. Where did it go? I have no idea, but I do have a friend who has a version of the software that still has it from the old, when it was put out for some reason, and then it was removed from another version of the software. And so he decompiled it. Oh. That's a laser pointer. I have no idea what happened, but he decompiled it. He sent me the decompiled C#. I matched it up line by line to the real code I had. I manually re-implemented the feature. That was fun. And then I rewrote it in C++. Okay, so I used WX widgets, which I already have familiarity with. I actually really like WX widgets. I used the GL canvas, which I'd never used before. I learned how to write shaders and transformations. I unfixed fixed the UI widgets that were previously fixed in place, so I could do like resizing and dynamic resizing and matrix transformations of the graphics. I modularized the code to 6 CMake targets, so I can again modularize that kind of stuff. It compiles on Mac now with GitHub Actions because I don't own a Mac, at least not personally. And you can go to GitHub and you can actually download it, and it's like 5 megabytes, which is crazy because the old Windows one was like 100 megabytes and you had to install it. So now it's a portable executable. You can just download it. If you have a Mac, you can download this too, if you want to use this. So the current work is that recently I've done some saving and comparing of results. Previously, if you wanted to stack something, tweak the settings and try it again, you had to delete the stack you had before, and if it took like 5 minutes, well, that's 5 minutes of work wasted. Now you can save and compare them. I'm using VC package instead of pure submodules because I'm, getting with the times. And then current work, I want to optimize the packing algorithm, and I want to save and load an entire workspace to a file, which I need a JSON library for, which is why I got VC package. And I want to implement the other feature requests that my 5 users, who I all know personally, want. Yeah, if anyone wants to know more about this, please go to the GitHub. This is obviously not what I do for work. This is just what I've been doing for fun for the past 6 months, other than these conference talks. Yeah, please talk to me about this. Puzzles and 3D printing and this kind of stuff is one of my passions in life, and this is just a really cool way to merge my passion of C++ with my passion of 3D printing and puzzles. So I wasn't timing myself. Hope I didn't take too long. Thank you all so much.